So folks, we're going to look at my tweet deck in a minute and I'll show you some of the news that's just come out. Just wanted to give you a view of my trading setup. So I've got my main currency charts on there and some other charts on here. Here I've got the economic news calendar, and the moment the news comes out, it shows up on this screen, and this is from myfxbook.com. And here I've got my tweet deck, and I'll show you how that runs in a moment. I've got various channels on Twitter feeding through to this, and they automatically get updated. I want to show you the channels and go through a few of the news items that have come up today on the tweet deck and just discuss how those might affect the markets, including currencies and stocks and gold and natural gas and oil and that sort of thing. So let's have a look at what's on the tweet deck, and I'll go through some of the news. One of the most interesting bits of news today was the manufacturing PMI that came out of the Eurozone, which is the lowest since 2020 and 2008. And that just reflects some of the struggles and the pressure on the European economy that we're seeing at the moment, with Germany in recession, France teetering on the balance, and London not far behind. And how that might affect interest rates, inflation, and the currencies of those countries is going to be pretty interesting. Let's have a look to see what's on Twitter on these various things. I've got several feeds here. I'm going to go through them with you, and perhaps if you're interested, you can put these up yourself. I've got Forex Live. That's kind of up-to-the-date Forex information, mainly related to the currency markets. Then I've got the Reuters business channel up on here. That's kind of global news regarding different markets and just general news around the world, and that's a really important one. Then the Financial Times. A lot of these articles, if you click on these links, are hidden behind paywalls, the same with Reuters, but you can get the gist of the news by reading the headlines here on Twitter and just important stuff that comes out. Forex Live tends to come out every 10 or 15 minutes. Reuters not quite as frequent. Financial Times not as frequent. Then I've got FX Street News. Kind of interesting. You'll get the news updates, economic numbers that come out, and various commentary from them. The commentary I don't pay much attention to. Investing.com, which is a fantastic website, by the way, as well. They're also a good news source for various bits of news and information and economic events that come out of the industry. Forex Factory, I don't pay too much attention to. I might take that one off. FX Evolution, they're mainly involved in stocks. They don't tweet that very often, but they put out a good video on stocks once or twice a week. And then Walter Vanelli, I watch, he trades only the euro against the US dollar. He's got a different trading style, which is kind of interesting, and also watching how he trades it with a different trading approach, only short the euro and never using stop losses. And then there's Zero Hedge, which is perhaps not politically suited to everyone. It kind of leans towards one side of the political spectrum, but they have really interesting articles. Once again, some of the articles, if you click on these links to their website, they're behind a paywall. But they come up with some different insights and different things that are going on in the world around us. So that's how I set up my tweet deck, and these automatically update. You can go to tweetdeck.twitter.com to set up your own, and you can choose whatever channels you're interested in following. I also want to have a look at my own Twitter channel and quickly look at the manufacturing PMI that came out of Europe. So let's have a look at that now. I'll go across to my channel, and I just put this tweet up. It's really interesting. You can see this is the chart of the manufacturing PMI. Let's see if we can zoom in here a bit. We can. And this is the 20-year chart, and that's the number that's just come out today, a couple of hours ago. You can see we've broken down below this red line, and this red line, sort of a support level. I suppose if you were trading this as a stock or a currency chart, you would think that support had broken. But what's interesting, in 2020, we saw that big spike low. And in 2008, we saw that big spike low as well. And we're now the lowest that we've been since those two events, or those two periods or occasions, during the housing market and mortgage crisis, and then COVID in 2020. And we're actually at the lowest level that we've been, excluding these two periods, for the last 20 years. So that's going to put pressure on the euro. It's going to put pressure on the European Central Bank to not increase interest rates. And it's going to cause general consternation in central bank policy and government policy in the Eurozone. And I'm going to lump Britain in with that, because even though they're not part of the Eurozone, they're pretty close neighbours and pretty intertwined with Europe. And often what happens in Europe also happens in Britain at the same time. So I hope you found that useful. I just wanted to point out the things that I look at, and also how I set up my trading desk. So over there I've got my tweet deck. Over here I've got my own Twitter feed and the economic news. Over there I've got some charts, and over there I've got some other charts. And I'm able, through these four screens, to keep an eye on all the important things that I think might be worth observing in the market, obviously particularly the charts. And also on two of these computers I've got my trading platforms. I use three separate trading platforms. Two of them are MT5 and one of them is a proprietary software setup. So I hope you found that useful. Just wanted to give you a quick note this morning, let you know what's going on. Pay attention to the Eurozone and the euro. That manufacturing PMI is a really important number, and it fairly accurately represents the economic conditions in Europe. Have a fantastic trading day, and if you're new to the channel, why not consider subscribing? And while you're here, please give the video a thumbs up. Take care.